Well, it looks like Christmas came early this year.
That's right. On this episode of Kiss Army Things, we are unboxing the 45th anniversary of Destroyer box set. My name is Xander.
My name's Jeb.
So Christmas came early, but the Destroyer box set sure did not. It was
No, it didn't.
it was supposed to be here.
Wow, way to break the ice.
It was supposed to ship on the 19th, and here we are. After Thanksgiving, finally doing our unboxing. But hey, I mean, now's as good a time as ever, I suppose, right?
So what is today? Just so we can make,
Today's the 28th.
Today's the 28th.
Today's the 28th,
Right.
and we're going to try and get this episode, this one out a little bit sooner than what we normally would.
Correct. We know a lot of people have already gotten their reviews out. They've made their videos. We've been dying to get our hands on the box set as well as the vinyl and share that with you guys. But yeah, I'll tell you, on the 19th, which was the day, for all of you who should know, was the day that everything was supposed to ship on the KISS online website, right, on the 19th. I actually got an email saying that they were shipping it.
Okay.
Because I didn't order the box set. I ordered the limited edition colored vinyl edition. And I got the email, said it was going to ship within the next, day or so. And then that was the 18th. On the 19th, I got an email. That one email that everyone seemingly got and was very upset about, saying, hey, we're not fulfilling orders quickly, we're a little behind, we're going to start shipping them, whatever, at a later date.
Right.
So I was at work when I saw that on my break, and so I said, you know what, after work, I'm just going to go see if I can pick up a copy, because I really want this thing. I really wanted to get my hands on the vinyl. So I just went to my nearest Best Buy, and they had one in stock, and I bought it.
One.
They had, on the day that it was released, which was the 19th, I went online and saw, I checked and it said they had one in stock. And I was like, that's strange because, it's the first day of it being released. Maybe they only wanted to stock one because Best Buy barely sells music anymore. They don't sell any CDs. So I went there and I bought the standard black vinyl edition, which is here, and which is, as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure it is identical to the colored version, apart from the actual colored vinyl.
Yeah.
As well as the hype sticker. They're two different colors for those who care. But yeah, I got the colored version today, the one that I ordered. And I understand that everyone who ordered from Amazon got theirs when they were supposed to.
Yeah.
And the people who ordered from KISS's actual website, we had to wait. And so it was actually kind of a surprise, and we weren't even planning on filming today. Xander sent me a message and said, hey, without an email or anything, the box set just showed up.
I didn't get it shipping. I walked out my door and it was there, and I said, well, let's get over here. We're doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I signed up, because they have an option on the website to get text message updates on if your order shipped, where it's at. I didn't get any of that. It just showed up. So it came, later than it should have been, but sooner than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
After the fact. So, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming most of you have seen this. They're selling these in stores, except this is the colored vinyl version. The artwork's pretty much the same. You can see the front there, and then there's the back. Nothing too sexy about it. As we know, the real main event thing is sort of the CD box set, which neither one of us has seen in person. We've took the cellophane off just before recording, and we're still yet to see all of that. And so, opening this up here, I already went ahead and took everything out. We can see the beautiful gatefold.
I had not seen this either.
You haven't seen it?
No.
By the way,
this is for my first time seeing the vinyl too.
Right, because Xander got the CD box set. I got the vinyl edition.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is...
So they have the classic 76
really
one.
Pleasant photo choice to put in there.
Mm-hmm.
I heard they were going to do something like that. I didn't know if it was going to be the photo of... I can't remember, what was it, the Empire State Building, or the cloud. You can't see it. He'll put it on the screen for the listeners or the viewers there.
Yeah, the Empire State Building shot.
But the classic shot. But I actually prefer this shot. It just makes an awesome inside gatefold there.
I do too. I think that having that one, the cityscape, would have been kind of like cliche.
Yeah, a little bit.
This one is just total rock and roll.
It was unexpected to me.
Biker Kiss, yeah, classic.
And awesome, of course, that they did a gatefold. Obviously, the original... It was just a single album, and I know some artists even release, a double album in one jacket, which is a really, kind of cheap thing to do. And I'm glad they didn't do that here. So we got a lovely gatefold there with lyrics to, was it King of the Nighttime World. Yeah, which is pretty cool, and it's pretty standard. Nothing too sexy about it.
Whoa.
I guess except.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So this is the sleeve for the second disc.
I'm over
with
here.
The bonus material.
I should show
Yeah,
it again.
show the
I haven't
camera.
seen it either, so I'm.
So
There's
yeah.
a sleeve, one side of the sleeve, and then there's this. So I'm assuming they had people send in a bunch of scans of tickets, flyers,
Yes. Oh,
basically anything from the Destroyer era.
Exactly.
And they used this to create the sleeve. That is
Which is
awesome.
fantastic, and it's fitting because all the bonus material is on this second disc.
How many times have you bought a Kiss vinyl in the last 10 years
And got a plain white sleeve.
and thought, how crappy are these sleeves?
Yeah.
That is how you do Kiss sleeves.
It's really cool. I mean, that's something. It seems like such a small thing people might gloss over, but that's something that I sat and looked at as after reading the booklet. Which we'll get into in a second. This was something that I actually really wanted to sit here and stare at for a minute and look at every little detail, because they're not all American. Just seeing the price, the old price of concert tickets is nothing like
Right.
this. So I'm looking at one $6.50. Which is,
That's crazy.
Really puts things into perspective. But that's, one of the things, little details that is, something that we were kind of looking forward to.
Absolutely.
Putting in that extra effort and just, that, whoever did this, the T42 design, going out of their way to acquire all these little things to include is just awesome.
That is how you do a Kiss sleeve.
And there's some photos on the back here, which is really cool.
And I'm liking this booklet too, because this looks like one of the sheets they would have used at the record label.
Yes.
Now, and that's stamped right there, March 19th, 76.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, March. Very cool. It's on the front and back there. I'm not sure if we should show everything because I'd rather you go out and buy it.
Right, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, we're not going to go page by page here, but just to give you
no.
an overview, I don't know, that's just really cool how they did all that.
Yes, I mean, I think the vinyl is perfect for not just the diehards, but for a lot of casual fans who just want a little more if they're interested in the album. That's why I'm glad they didn't, not glad they didn't do all of what they did with the CD box with this, because I would have probably bought that.
There's different packages for different people,
Yes,
for
I'm
different fans.
glad they did a smaller, more palatable vinyl release that has, all the essentials, but still gives you, a little extra. I love, basically this is just telling the story of Kiss's Destroyer. A lot of diehards, we've read kind of a lot of this stuff before, but...
You know most of it.
And so we know most of it, but it's a few cool quotes here and there from Gene, Paul, Peter, and Ace that I think are recent. I don't think they took old interviews from Ace and Peter. I could be misled, but I believe they did get new, quotes from them talking about the record. So there's a really cool photo there. I'm probably bad at holding these up and showing. I've never reviewed an album online before. But something interesting that I noticed is I guess a typo or just a mistake in the story of Destroyer here on this page with the red. I noticed there's a sentence started here that doesn't seem to pick up anywhere else throughout the entire
Part of the interview?
part of the interview, which is one of Ace's quotes. At the end, it says, quote, "Sometimes Peter would say he," and then
It picks up with Gene Simmons.
nothing on the next page, picking up from that. I thought, okay, maybe it was on the next page. No, there's photographs. Okay, that's got to pick up somewhere. I read this whole thing and never... again, I might be dim. I might be missing something, but I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing.
That's so weird.
Very strange, but it's not, nothing to get upset about. But it's really cool. I love the booklet.
I wonder if... And because I'm a designer too, I work in graphic design.
Yeah.
And I've done, multi-page booklets like this. Not like this, but I've done multi-page booklets and things like that. And so I'm trying to think of what the errors could be or why. And so the only things I can think of why that would be is if maybe a page got dropped. Mm-hmm. Because I've put different tabs together, and if it's like a 26 page spread and you only have enough content for 24,
right,
you start skimping down to 24 pages, and so you start removing content to meet your meet your space. And
sense.
It's possible that maybe one page that had the rest of that on it and some of the pictures got taken out.
Yeah.
It may even be as simple as if you were to look at the actual file itself,
yeah,
and with your text box, maybe the text box needs to be drugged down just a little bit to reveal that last line. It could be cut off. I mean,
Right.
it could be anything.
It's just,
But
it's
I mean,
a
it's
strange
very
little
strange
thing.
because it's like, well, I wonder what the rest of that quote says. But
Yeah, well, it looks like it was, nearing the end. It's just like maybe it was the last second half of the sentence that was cut off. At any rate, maybe it's just my... No, I did check both of my copies since I did have two.
So you did check both the vinyl copy and the standard vinyl, and both of them in the booklets have this exact same quote-unquote typo issue
Maybe
mistake.
Yeah, I might be missing something. If you've read it, let me know if it picks up somewhere that I don't get. But I just thought that was interesting.
So that quote just cut off.
But I did read it, and it's quite nice. It goes through everything without getting too bogged down in the details. Again, it's something that definitely a casual Kiss fan could pick up and read and get really invested in.
Sure.
Because it is a great story. I mean,
oh, that's cool. They have the different versions of the album. They have Destroyer Resurrected,
Yes.
and then like a new logo there.
It says Destructor instead of Destroyer. How cool
Really?
is that?
Okay.
Yes.
The German logo and then the Japanese final.
Something I'll tell you something I didn't know, and this is something a lot of Kiss fans may have known and been like, "Oh, you didn't know that." Apparently, this was supposed to be called. Gene's suggestion was to call the album Dynasty,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
obviously they would later use a few years later. I didn't know that.
It was one of the names that was thrown in the pool.
Yeah, that was like the working title for a little bit. So I guess I did learn something.
Okay.
But overall, it's just really nice to have a new edition with some extra stuff that really
That is super neat.
does the album Destroyer well. And I think the vinyl it's a nice fitting way to do that on a smaller scale. I think they did a really good job. Now, as far as the music and everything, because I've listened to it on vinyl, the black vinyl version, a few times, twice on my stereo, once with headphones to really get into the production and everything. And obviously it sounds amazing. But the thing with Destroyer is it's kind of always sounded great, or at least I imagine it to be, because I don't know what it was like in the 70s, but it's always known for having that polished sound. It's always sounded really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so nothing has really changed there, except it just sounds, I guess, a little better. I'm not an audiophile, so I can't really get into the details of sound quality, but it sounds great. It sounds exactly like how it should.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you
I love
listen?
it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off
No,
there.
you're good.
Did you happen to listen to this version of Destroyer and then another version of Destroyer to kind of compare?
I didn't.
Okay.
No, I've because I expected to do that, but once I listened to this one, I just kind of liked listening to this version. Although it wasn't too long before hearing the new version that I listened to Resurrected, which I still hold as like as superior to the original version of Destroyer. This I think is on par, although there are differences, different reasons to listen to both.
Right.
But I could see this being the main sort of go-to, just because it's new. It's sort of a celebration of the album, 45 years, whatever. I'll probably still listen to Resurrected, but I think that this might be my new go-to.
Absolutely.
And so, and of course, there's on the second LP, there's demos from Gene and Paul, as well as on side 4, labels them as rarities. Some interesting stuff. Not a whole lot of too much exciting stuff apart from the demos. Although I did think the Detroit Rock City instrumental was cool.
What demos did they include on the vinyl?
Yes, so Paul Stanley's demos featured on side 3 of the second record is God of Thunder. Well, the title God of Thunder and Rock and Roll,
Right.
The original Paul Stanley title, which is something that I've heard before. I've heard that years ago, and I absolutely loved that version. I thought it was really cool.
Paul's version.
It's a great version of the song. Very different from what ended on the record, which
Yeah.
kind of makes that kind of stuff ends up making the regular album even cooler, seeing where they started and where they ended up. It's completely different. So they have God of Thunder, Detroit Rock City, the demo, which was released prior to the actual release of this, which I'd heard, which was pretty cool. And then Love Is Alright.
I love that one.
And that's the last Paul Stanley one. So they didn't include near as much as the actual box set.
Okay.
And then Gene's demos include I Don't Want No Romance, Rock and Rolls Royce, which we had heard before to the release, and Star. And I really liked the demos. I actually was pleasantly surprised by Gene's, at least just the ones that were included on the vinyl, because it's again like less than half of what they included on here. And the rarities are again pretty cool. They got the Beth acoustic, the mono single for Shout It Out Loud, which to me, I know what mono means, but I don't.
It's
That's not something that I'm like, ooh, really.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I
wanted to hear this.
I mean, it's cool to have that, as an option, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they have the King of the Nighttime World live rehearsal instrumental, and that to me was probably the coolest add-on that they did for the vinyl.
I don't think I've heard that one.
Yeah, well, I
must have
hadn't
missed
heard it.
that one.
I hadn't heard it prior to this.
King of the Nighttime World live rehearsal.
Yeah, them just playing it, I guess, in the studio, all of them together, and they played it and it sounded great. And then,
wait, okay, yeah. The intro is different. They did.
I can't remember.
Okay, for sure.
But yes, and then again the Detroit Rock City instrumental, which sounds like I loved hearing the instrumental, just further contextualizing the instrumentation, I guess, and the production that went into it. And
yeah,
sounds really cool. Flaming Youth early version. I don't know if there was anything too notable about that. And Shout It Out Loud alternate mix, same with that. It's just kind of an additional thing, just kind of thrown in there, which is nice. But overall, I'm mostly going to listen to the original remastered album. And so that was my reason for buying this. But we haven't even touched on the box set at all, which, again, neither one of us have caught a glimpse of. And here's the sleeve. Is this not a reprint of like the original?
Yeah, that looks very familiar.
I believe this looks, if not like the original, it's...
Yeah, the back, I think. I don't know if the back is. Maybe
not. I have no idea. I don't. You don't have original on vinyl, do you? I mean, it would. You don't have to dig it out, but I used to have.
If I do, it doesn't have the original. Some of the stuff I have is more like rescued vinyl, as opposed to like collector grade. I usually go and buy records from the record bin for like $2.
Yeah,
just because that's just what I do.
Absolutely.
So I doubt that I have an original with a sleeve, but that back cover with the Shout Out Loud and the Kiss Army logo, that's definitely very classic. But as far as this goes, this behemoth.
I didn't even show the vinyl. So while you're opening that, I'll display the colored vinyl for those of you who are
for sure really
interested.
For sure. So the first thing I noticed is that it's hollow foil. It's shiny on the front. That's always nice. I did not see that. Can I see that? I did not look at that.
I love the yellow. It's kind of a weird looking yellow. It's almost like a green.
It's a creamy yellow, and I love that.
It's a really subdued, easy on the eyes.
I wonder, it's
very cool.
I wonder where they got that idea from. Why they did a yellow? I don't care.
They did yellow and red.
Okay,
I think just because it fits in with the theme.
Okay, that makes sense. Then
the yellow and red of the
that makes sense. That specific yellow though is really cool.
That was very nice.
So as far as this thing goes, I have not opened it at all. Before we started filming, I did take off the cellophane and the hype sticker, but no, I have not opened this at all. I am ready to do it.
It's a nice red.
That is sweet.
It's a very nice red. Oh, and I guess we could go into the label. The label on the original is kind of like the original. On the extra stuff, they did like a cool
tape reel looking thing.
Tape reel for
That's
the extras.
So sweet.
Again, a nice little design touch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's thicker than I imagined this box set. I knew it was gonna be a big boy, but I didn't think it would be. I thought it'd be maybe half this thick, but no, it's.
I didn't know what to expect at all because I hadn't seen. I'd been to a record store looking for those just to see what it looked like on the outside, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So this is our first time viewing anything. That looks like.
So this looks very similar to the book, except this is.
That's a book.
This is a hardcover.
That's an actual book.
So this is very similar to the book that we just shown a minute ago, except this is obviously. Hardback, and again, I'm not going to go through page by page. This is going to be something that I'm going to sit here and Corky. That name Corky. There's something about that name. Corky Romano. Don't even get me started on Corky Romano right now. Not in the middle of an episode. So I think I just opened the page to page 13. It's got Corky's name on it. So Corky, I think there is a pressing of Rock and Roll Over that left off his name as sound engineer, and so they had to re-release the album like very soon after with Corky's name on it. So there's I guess collectors like to look for this version of Rock and Roll Over that does not have Corky's name on it.
Gotta love vinyl collectors, man.
Yeah, I know, and this
we'll make any
and that was something I never knew until this year. So there's always plenty of new things to learn as far as Kiss goes. And I'm wondering because this looks very similar to that page a minute ago you were talking about.
Does it have the rest of Ace's quote? That's what we have to find out.
No, wait.
No, because
because this is the
We're
Ace
going to
Frehley
spend
quote,
half the
right?
podcast just looking for the finished quote from Ace. So, that looks like the same background, but...
It's the same background, and there is the Ace quote, but I don't see where it has...
anything about Peter?
About where Peter say he...
Well, it could be... I don't know. It could be...
Wait, yes. Nope.
They just removed the whole quote. No.
Yeah, so I wonder if that... I'll have to go back and look through later, but yeah, so this looks very awesome. We have some magazine covers there. Some great photos. This will be something to just go through and really dig deep into. It reminds me of the awesome book that they did for Kiss Rocks Vegas, the hardcover page. Except this seems to have like obviously more historical content in it.
This is really nice. It's got
very awesome.
It's got a good weight. It is hardback. I love. It's got a. Is that glossy?
It's not glossy.
Not really, but
it's not glossy, but it's a nice finish.
I'm just gonna be skimming through it.
Okay. Well, he's going to skim through that. I'm going to move on because this looks like
and the print quality is as good as you would expect.
So this is the press kit. This is the replica press kit from 1976.
And this is something. Oh wow!
With some extra goodies.
This is stuff as far as the press kit goes and all these extras. These are things that that at least I have not seen before because obviously again. We weren't around in the 70s. We didn't get the original press kit. This is something that's new to us.
This is one of the reasons why a release like this is so cool because there are generations of fans that did not get a chance to actually live this and experience this. So, us sitting here flipping through this, I mean, you're looking at all these posters, ticket stubs, advertisements from 76, and it's all about that Kiss experience, and this is like transporting back in time.
I mean, I now want to buy the actual box set now. Because I didn't buy the box set. I bought the
as simple as, like, look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
Look how shiny that is. Something so shiny like that just looks so cool. It says in the back, notice of classification. Is classified in class A1.
Look at this. I'm sorry. This is cool. All the different... I'm assuming these are cassettes.
Those are cassettes.
Looks like these are cassette designs for different countries. And see, that one says Destructor again from Argentina. This is really cool. It looks like they actually went the extra mile and...
They went out of their way to get a lot of historical documents or a lot of historical aspects from this. I mean, you look at this. I mean, you know that this is all stuff that people had sent in.
Oh yeah.
That was like dug up. That was scanned in. And awesome. I love that about Kiss fans is that we're really good about preserving. Yeah, we're really good at preserving. Most people think that we're psycho when we buy something or we have something and we put it under lock and key and we have it like framed or we put it in a locked safe and this is the reason why. Because had those people...
A lot of it is historical.
Had those kids and teens back then and young adults, had they not saved this stuff, I mean, it would have been lost to time. So this stuff is just super cool to go through. I know the bumper sticker and all that is extra added stuff that was not included in the press kit. Is this the press kit?
I can't tell what is and what isn't.
Because
there's a lot of cool stuff here. But.
Yeah, this might not be the actual press kit. I don't know, but there's just a lot of stuff in here. So I don't know if we need to go through every single thing.
Well, we can kind of lay them out.
Because, I mean, there is just a lot to go through. I know this is a bumper sticker.
Here, can you lay this on that table?
I sure can. Yeah, well, I made sure to have extra space. So here are these really cool...
oh, that is cool.
Photos of the band.
Oh, wow.
Is it the same quote on every one?
I believe these were new. I believe they made these. I could be mistaken, but I think these are made new.
These are
just for the box set.
This is the extra stuff. It even says at the bottom 2021. So
there you go.
It has some quotes from each of the band members at the top. There was Ace, and then here's Paul's.
That's very cool.
And Gene's. And Peter. So yeah, every one of them has like a different quote on them.
That's very cool.
From Destroyer.
Very cool. Look at that.
We have some, so get some 8x10s of the band. I believe, and you might be able to confirm this. Actually, maybe.
Oh, look at those.
Are these the photos from the sleeve?
Yes. Yes.
So these four photos in a square make up the sleeve for the vinyl. There's Paul. Ace. I love the effects they did. Look at the effects they have on these photos.
I know it looks like a kaleidoscope, or like they had.
I would like to know more about these because I know my wife does photography and she has this little prism thing she puts in front of her camera that can like duplicate the image. You get some cool colors and things. So I'm wondering if this was done in camera or in post. I don't know.
No, it looks like it was done in camera.
Either way, those are some sweet visual effects happening.
I wonder if these are unreleased photos. I wonder if these are things that no one's ever seen before. Because I've never seen these photos prior to the box set. I'm wondering if these are new fan, photos. If so, that's extra cool.
No doubt.
Look at this. Everything is really cool.
Now
that looks really cool.
This would be something,
Frame that.
I was like, if we weren't so psycho and wanted to keep a set as a set, but if you see this floating around,
that's why we buy 2 of everything.
For sure. But this is something like, if you see this running around on its own loose, I would take this and frame that.
Now, what is that? It's some kind of it's shiny like a foil sort of.
I've always wanted to know how they print this stuff.
Yes,
how it's printed.
It's very cool though. I love the look of it.
Because the look of that is sweet. That's something that imagine that signed by all 4, or like that's just awesome. So this is just like a record flat, like a
promo,
like a promo ad.
Yes.
Now I love promo ad stuff, so I know it's a replica, but it's
Did
still.
you show the camera there?
It's still cool. No, I did not. I'm just right into it, aren't I? Destroy Your Kiss now on sale. Love the yellow on that. Let me.
And the design on everything, all the original stuff looks just really cool.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine being like 10 to 12 years old and looking at that for the first time, and nice. That's a cool.
It looks good.
I was gonna say the print quality on all this stuff.
Really
by
good.
the way,
look at Gene's expression. No tongue.
He's the dude.
Yeah, that's cool because Gene.
Is that from London? Is that the?
Yes, this is from London.
That's from the London.
Yes, and that's why I wore this shirt because
nice.
75. That was pre-Destroyer.
Those are the alive costumes going into Destroyers. So.
And they didn't get the Destroyer costumes until...
They got late.
They got them a little late.
So that's not a fault on someone's part.
Yeah.
I think this is the press kit. I think everything that,
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think everything on the left was included in the press kit, and everything on the right was the new stuff.
Very cool to
love this photo. Or this folder.
To have it in a folder... That's just really cool.
Yeah, and
did any other bands do that back in the day? Did any other bands
do press kits?
Anyone who was around in the 70s.
I bet they did. I think it's a press kit. I feel like.
But for the Kiss art, I don't know. It could be.
Oh, you mean en masse for people?
Yeah, like were other bands putting stuff like this on their albums? Because I feel like Kiss may have had the corner on all that.
Yeah, I mean they were definitely going above and beyond. But now I've seen in recent times, I'm starting to see these press kits. Like original, not replicas, original from like 76, 77, original press kits popping up in the collector circuit, and they're going for like $200-$300, and that's like
for a complete one, I have
for a complete one from 76. So if you're somebody out there who has an original press kit from 1976 and you're looking to make some, and you're willing to part with it, there's a really good starting asking price, about $250. I'm seeing these things go for, which is absolutely insane.
That would make me want to keep mine more.
Absolutely.
If you're a Kiss fan who's kept it for that long, keep it.
No kidding.
Now, what is that? Is that a
to even get your hands on it? I don't know. It's an iron-on.
Wow.
This is an iron-on.
That's pretty neat.
It is very neat.
Clear looking an iron-on.
So you can imagine being
for like a T-shirt or
anything you want, I guess. Yeah,
wow.
the clothing. But you could imagine being a little kid and getting a Kiss iron-on. And wanting that on a T-shirt now, wanting it on a jacket,
and having your parents saying, "No, that's Kiss. We don't want to support that."
Yeah. So again, these are all things that I've seen this stuff for sale, but I'm not paying that kind of money for it.
It's cool to see.
So to have a replica in my hands is fantastic.
A fresh, high quality.
I can't go through and look at everything, but and I would encourage you to get yours before they're all sold out. They're already sold out on KissOnline.com.
Technically, a couple of weeks ago, I saw that the box set was sold out, and then a couple of days I checked later, and then they had them in stock again. And then now on the Kiss website, they're out of stock, sold out again. But on Amazon, as of whatever today is, they still have these. I'm considering buying a copy for myself.
Yeah, I mean, definitely get while the getting's good because it's already sold out on Kiss Online.
Yeah, I should have already.
It's going to be sold out very soon, and then once they're gone, they're gone.
Oh yeah, okay. The vinyl, the standard vinyl, those will probably still be available, except for the colored vinyl.
Kiss discography sheet.
I love how
that point.
I love how old just the whole thing looks.
They
with the typography.
did a really, really good job at keeping this
That to me is Kiss
as
yellow.
faithful as possible.
Sure.
Because again, this is all artwork and visuals that we've seen.
Yes.
Whether on our computer screen or our cell phones, but we ourselves have never actually got to see the stuff. So
to have a physical copy.
So we know it when we see it, that that's legit Kiss.
That's awesome.
But to hold it is pretty great. And they even at the bottom have where it says Kiss Online 2021, so that nobody can confuse or
no one's
will
gonna
try
get
and pass off this as a original 76.
A new mint,
Yeah.
mint, which
as
is,
if you wouldn't be able to tell by the coloring of the paper or even the type of paper. But, I mean, just in case somebody wanted to pull a fast one with somebody else, they did actually mark it at the bottom to where it says,
that's good.
This is a reprint. And I'm glad they did that just so that nobody tries to pull a fast one. But even a certificate. This is to hereby decree that so-and-so, which in this case would be me, is officially recognized as a member in good standing of the Kiss Army. As a dedicated follower of Kiss, the aforementioned member pledges his loyalty to the Army and to furthering the advancement of Kiss throughout the land. It's almost religious.
Very dramatic.
It's very religious
dramatic.
at that point. You're pledging your
You're
loyalty
signing
to the
up.
Army, and you're going to further the advancement of Kiss throughout the land. It's almost...
Kiss had the marketing back then. That's why people are diehards today.
That is
because
hilarious.
they really wanted you to be in it.
It's so immersive.
Yes, it's a whole new world.
It's so immersive. And here we are, 50 years later, 45 years later,
Yeah,
being
being immersed
in it ourselves. Yeah, exactly.
with a whole entire different generation.
So this, I think, is a newsletter. This is the newsletter that would have came out in spring of '76. And so there's the cover of that, and the back cover, and then it's a few pages here. So these came out routinely. These, because I'm seeing these as well.
Yeah.
Newsletters popping up for about $20-$30 individually. So
That's very cool.
very sweet. Love the folder. The folder's great.
Kiss Army folder. Wow.
So I will worry about piecing this back together later.
Yeah.
Again, we're just doing an unboxing, so
Yes.
lots of cool
I
stuff
still
to
have
get
these
your
over
hands on.
here.
Some stuff that was not included in the original press kit that's added in. Super fun.
There's these.
Boy, oh boy.
And the box looks very well made, nice and sturdy.
Like I
holds
said, it's
everything
about
nicely.
twice as thick as I thought it would have been. And I'm going to have to try and get this out without being too destructive. Because
Without
what
destroying
is
it.
this?
I have no.
This is the tour
The
book.
mini tour book.
This is the
that's
tour
cool.
book.
I love how they prepared it and wrapped it in this black thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be so careful with it. But so
Gosh, they put a lot of stuff in here.
So this tour book in 2021
Yep.
goes for I don't even know, astronomical amounts of money.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
for an original '70s tour
For
book.
a tour book, rather.
Sure.
I've seen tour books that are in horrible condition from the 70s still go for $70, $100.
Jeez. My goodness.
How that stuff is even kept in good condition on its own is crazy to me. So here we go, a replica program from the 76 tour. If you have one, you already know what it looks like, but if you don't, I mean,
That looks freaking cool.
it's pretty awesome. Again, I'll have to go through and actually, this says, "The dream lives. The Kiss fantasy looms ever larger. For more real than life itself, the thundering rock and roll vibration intensifies until it reaches that unbearable moment when it explodes into smoke, fire, and color, and the dream lives." Dude, this is dramatic. I'm trying to
I do
imagine
wanna-
it from a perspective where, because you and I know everything as far as the unmasked stuff, the 90s, the reunion. We were born into that stuff.
Right.
But to only know Kiss as this,
As the superheroes that
as
they
the
portrayed
superheroes
themselves to be.
that they were, because
Yes.
when we first were introduced to Kiss, we were introduced to Kiss by Kiss. It was Gene and Paul on Kiss Extreme Close Up saying, "Hey, this is the band. This is
Laying
where
it
we
all
came
out."
from. If you want to be a fan, this is what you need to know."
Yeah.
And then so we didn't get that opportunity to actually live this. So imagining opening up a tour book or something and reading about the Kiss fantasy,
Yes.
the thundering rock and roll vibration intensifying, and
And putting on the record and just being
being a kid.
immersed into, another world.
Yeah, I mean, it was very pure. I think you and I experienced a different kind of purity as
Yeah.
far as being Kiss fans, after the fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a level of purity here that we can kind of feel just by reading this tour book. But certainly just awesome stuff. There's the discography up until that point. They even have a spot here for the originals
to be released. Was that after Destroyer then? Yeah, that the originals were released. 'Cause I thought it was after Alive.
Well, it was definitely after Alive. I'm just surprised that there is no album cover there.
Huh.
Special limited edition for the dedicated Kiss fan. I think the originals was technically the first Kiss box set that ever came out. I don't know if I'm going to actually unfold these because these are huge. Not huge. They're 16 by 24s, I think.
Oh, the poster. That's
Posters.
the same.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do at least this one because this one I think is the Empire State Building.
I didn't know I didn't know they included a.
Oh, they're not huge. Okay, never mind. They're not huge, but
that's a nice size. Look how good that looks.
Look how quality that print is. I'm sorry, that sounds so dumb.
That is it looks fantastic. If we could compare that with the one you got up there, which looks very faded, because it's
also
older.
It's also behind
plastic.
Plastic that
but even
that may or may not be dirty.
Even then, I can tell.
But even then,
they did some work on it.
I wonder if there's any like photo restoration that went into this.
Yes, there was
to try and get the photo to
there absolutely was.
But goodness, people.
I mean, they had to have gone into Photoshop.
And again, if fans weren't so psycho, we'd be plastering this. If you were a fan in '76 and got this in the mail, this would be on your wall, taped, each corner taped, put tags in it.
Oh, yeah.
Posting on your wall, not on social media, but in real life.
And we would have done the same thing. Not knowing what we know now, but if we had grown up then, we would have.
Oh, yeah. When you're a kid, man, I mean...
Because we still had posters hung up on our walls.
Yeah, and I ruined that one. Rock the Nation. I had a massive Rock the Nation poster, and I was a kid.
It was huge.
I put it on the wall.
Just
tacked it on the wall. It was like, how big was that poster, do you think?
It was massive. It covered, oh man.
It covered from here to here to here. It was like a...
It was more, wasn't it more long?
It was a 48 by 60 inch poster.
Someone out there has...
It went from floor to ceiling, pretty much.
See, that's one where you would need to get a good frame.
And that Rock the Nation poster.
Find that image and put it in the podcast.
I will.
Because it was a massive poster.
Awesome poster. Yes. I ruined it. Yeah. Kids are kids.
Kids are kids. Is this Paul Lynde?
No, this is Paul Lynde.
Yes.
I've always loved...
People like to say the Ed Sullivan Beatles moment of Kiss.
Yeah,
That's what we've heard people describe these experiences.
So yeah, just pretty much a screenshot almost, or just a still shot, a snapshot of Kiss on Paul Lynde. And I love the Paul Lynde performance. And for the fan in 1976, there was nothing better than seeing Kiss on Paul Lynde.
Yeah.
Because at the time, that was it.
That was the Ed Sullivan Beatles moment. Yeah.
And I've gone back and rewatched that performance again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? This is pretty freaking sweet.
That's cool.
The production that the production links that they went into.
Yes.
Just thank you, Paul Lynde, for putting Kiss on blast like that, because that did a lot for the Kiss Army.
Yes, it did.
It may have been the beginning of little kids getting involved, which made Kiss seem uncool when little kids got into it. But when little kids get into it, that's what sells. Obviously,
yeah,
Star Wars,
up
Kiss,
there, yeah.
It makes money. So call it what you want, but Paul Lynde is historical in the most extreme sense. Now this was something that I did not realize we were getting until I read the hype sticker. These are not original, but the replica, or their scans, I guess, are reproductions of the original stage design for Destroyer, printed on transparent vellum
for that 76 summer tour.
So these are sketches that were done in preparation for the Destroyer tour, which obviously none of this came to fruition.
Did it not?
Well, look, you have a burning you have buildings that are like
destroyed
some of this buildings.
Is very much
you have cat
power
eyes,
lines and
cat eyes.
Oh yeah. Right.
But still, so to even have this stuff to look at, I think is sweet. Drawings like this.
Yeah, that is. I wonder who.
And it's like, well, who had this?
Who did? Yeah.
Who had this under wraps, or who had this in their collection?
Very cool stuff. Wow.
And all this I'm going to have to go back through and just look at. I'm just doing a drive-by for all of us here, just to, appease myself, because like I said, I've had this.
Absolutely. That was very cool.
Very cool. So I'm going to put this over here. There's at least one last thing here before we move on. This is super cool. Gotham Rock City News. It's a track-by-track, I think, interview of Destroyer.
Does it unfold, or is that it?
It unfolds.
Oh, I thought it was just that. I was like, what? That looks really cool.
Or does it unfold?
It has to unfold. It's flapping there.
Oh no, is it book? Oh yeah, no, it does.
So
it
it's
is
like a newspaper. It's like
it is
little
a
mini
full-fledged,
newspaper.
full-scale
That is brilliant.
newspaper.
Now they didn't. I think we should say that they didn't have to put all of this stuff in here.
No, they
They
created.
could have got away with a lot.
This is a
less here.
fake. They made a newspaper. They went and created one out of scratch.
So that's not
Now-
something that was original.
No. Gotham Rock City. No, it says words by Ken Sharp, concept by T42 Design.
So this is a new
So
thing.
the concept was that guy from T42.
That's still
he made
amazing,
this.
yeah.
And now I work in newspaper. I sell advertising for publications, and I worked as a designer.
Yeah.
So this for me is super special.
That is cool.
And you better believe I'm going to go through this and word for word.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to be careful not to like scratch it up
Yeah.
or anything. But even the paper itself is printed on news. It's that thin paper.
Yes.
I
That is
am
very cool.
impressed. Even
Yeah, they really went. I mean,
there's Corky again. Thank goodness for Corky.
I'm wondering who was really pushing to get all of these extras in there, because again, this is something that no one expected and that they could have gotten away with not putting it in there. Putting it in there was just extra cool. And
It sounds to me like T42 Design was able to go in and basically put together everything he wanted to, everything they wanted to,
and he knocked it out of the park.
with Universal's approval.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure there were plenty of things that did not get put in that were wanted to be put in. There
more
were things
likely.
that I think there were photos that with photo rights and all that. It can be hard to get everything you want in.
Yeah.
But with what we have, this
It's
is
more than
this is
any Kiss fan
insane.
could reasonably ask for. And by the way, this is something that Kiss fans have wanted for a long time, not just for any specific record, but for them to do something like this.
yeah.
I mean, it's just
I'm gonna be busy with this. Just
hold the whole
this,
box.
just this alone right
Yeah.
here is like one of the best parts for me.
That's cool. I'm glad.
Just because
very cool.
it's special. Because I mean, I work in newspapers
Yeah.
and the fact that the guy went and from
Actually,
scratch created this, just I don't know, that's awesome. What a fun project this had to be to work on.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start getting into the part where I want to camp on the most, and that is the music. The music. So I'm going to try and get everything out of here without, again, being too destructive. There are more CDs than I thought.
Yeah,
There's four. Okay,
Yeah,
there's four. So here we go. We have the original album remastered.
Nice.
Something I did not realize about this album, or didn't really take into consideration, is there's only 9 songs on this album.
It's a short record.
There are a few Kiss albums like this. I think Animalize or Asylum, one of the two,
Only breaks 9 songs.
only breaks 9 songs. That is a short album.
It's short, and it's even shorter considering Rock and Roll Party at the end taking up a couple minutes, and the intro for Detroit Rock City.
Very
the
true.
meat of the album is short.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what the album would be like if they had added an extra song or, decided to move things around. But it's only like a half hour, 31 minutes. With
What? Are you serious?
Destroyer is a short album.
Golly.
I think.
Yeah,
Someone Google it.
And some Kiss albums are like that, where
Well,
it's
Just to Kill, that's a short
Just to
record.
Kill is
Very short.
So I love what they did with the CD. The fact that it opens up into a gatefold CD.
Oh,
That's
it's a
just
little
sweet, and it looks like a little mini vinyl.
Yeah,
That's that
is pretty cool.
the paper that they used is great too. It's just a nice matte finish.
And we don't have so far we didn't buy the standard CD edition.
No, we don't have the standard
That's
version.
one
of the
that we
CD.
don't have here. This is just in the box set.
So here's the Blu-ray audio.
The artwork is interesting, really cool on that.
So here, okay, so the Blu-ray audio. First of all, love that album cover.
That's pretty cool.
The glitchy digital multicolored
yeah.
look there is super sweet. So this is the Dolby Atmos 5.1 that you can't even listen to unless it's on a Blu-ray
What
player.
about the first one? Was that any standard
This
CD?
one, it just says original album remastered.
Okay.
To me, this looks like a regular CD.
Okay, great. Because I thought all 4 were going to be the Blu-ray, super high quality, blah, blah,
Oh,
whatever.
for sure. I was worried because I knew that I have a Blu-ray player, but it has to be compatible with Dolby Atmos 5.1 surround.
Yeah, it has to be.
And so that to me just seems really specific.
It is very specific. And
So the only difference between the original album and this Dolby Atmos remastered is the fact that after the 9 songs on the album, you have 2 bonus tracks. Beth, the acoustic mix, and Sweet Pain with Ace's solo on it instead of Dick Wagner's.
Is that version not on Resurrected as well? Because I think there is an alternate version.
The solo with Ace on Sweet Pain is on Resurrected. Yes.
Gotcha.
And that was the first time that had been ever heard.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Heard. So that is a previously released track that is on here. Right. But so those two are the only differences. I would like to try and see if I can listen to this and just figure out. I'm assuming this must be for the audio files, because
it's got to be
Blu-ray audio is such a niche thing that
it used to be. I think as time goes forward, we could be seeing more of this stuff. Although I don't think I could be wrong, because I don't think I've heard of any other band releasing audio.
I've only heard of a few Blu-ray audios, but it seems so.
It's a I don't know. It's for people who have a really high quality entertainment system in the living room or whatever.
Yeah, must be real deep into the, like I said, audiophile stuff. But
it probably sounds amazing.
Because I'm sure Steven Wilson did a great job on this. He's kind of that guy. So I'll have to check that out at some point.
Very cool.
But
I love this.
The
look of that.
The live in Paris. Okay, first of all, killer shot. Is this a shot?
It's got to be a shot from the show.
I wonder if that is a shot from the show.
I think, yeah. With the attention to detail that everything has been, I can guarantee that probably is.
It's definitely a shot. They're still wearing the Alive costumes, but we all know that
it did carry
the Destroyer
over.
Costumes were not worn on the Destroyer tour until a little afterwards, because there were delays.
And that was in the U.S. So this is in Europe, so I think that checks out.
Yeah, so this is May 76.
Yeah.
So they were still wearing the Alive costumes.
The tour in America was in summer, so that does make sense.
Yeah, so this very well could be a shot from that show. I don't know.
I'm sure somebody does. Wager it is.
We could have probably done a bunch of research beforehand, but part of the fun is just going in blind.
Yeah.
Again, you have some really sweet artwork on the inside here. I'm going to look more in depth in just a second, but just to give some folks the look at it there.
Can we talk about how awesome it is that they got audio from the 76 tour? That is something that when I heard that they were releasing a Destroyer box, I had no idea they were going to do live material from 76. That in itself is super cool.
Yeah, and this I don't think this is an audience recording. I noticed the audio wasn't quite up to par as I would have liked it to have been.
That's rough.
Which was kind of a disappointment, but I can't complain too much because this audio exists.
Yeah.
And the fact that it exists is good enough.
This is the best it's going to sound.
It is an audience recording, and so knowing that, it puts that recording into perspective. So I think I was looking for some Kiss Alive level quality.
Oh, no.
But that's okay, because like I said, having this recording to begin with is fantastic.
Any interesting set list choices, or is it all pretty much Alive with maybe one or two from Destroyer?
I listened to it, and
I haven't listened to it.
Thought it was fantastic, and I had my thoughts all together, but I only heard it once.
Yeah, I was going to
say. So I noticed that there are not as many songs from the album that there would be in subsequent tours. You are hearing Flaming Youth.
Nice. That'd be cool.
Shout It Out Loud and Detroit Rock City. Those are the only songs that are on Destroyer that are on this live disc. Of course, Flaming Youth would be dropped pretty quickly and wouldn't really come up until Freedom to Rock tour in 2016.
Gosh. Unbelievable.
We saw
probably the Kiss Cruise. Whichever one did that first. Did they ever do that? I think they did it on the Kiss Cruise, did they? One of them they had to.
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe they did.
Someone will know.
I know they did. They played it on Freedom to Rock tour, and then they even played it on the show we saw in Aurora.
Correct.
In 2017.
Very cool.
So Flaming Youth is there. Of course, Shout Out Loud and Detroit Rock City. I have trouble saying those words. Detroit Rock City. Shout It Out Loud. But God of Thunder isn't on here. That wasn't played live, at least not on this recording. Huh. Let's see.
That was
King of the Nighttime World. That wasn't played.
No.
That wasn't here. So you're seeing a very, very early set of the Destroyer tour.
Now, if Gene is doing the blood spitting act, would that have been on?
If Gene is spitting blood, I bet it's on 100,000 Years.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Because they did that before.
That was the old school.
That was
the
old
first
school
way of doing it.
Yeah, the old school
so
way.
That's another interesting tie-in is the set list.
So this really is a segue. You're seeing a transition point because you're seeing leftover Kiss Alive set list and before. Because, She...
I love that song.
I do too, and I wish they played it more, but it's not one that
The harmonies on it.
Nothing to Lose. This is a song, Nothing to Lose. As soon as they hit, that was their first single.
Yeah, that was...
They played it live.
They played it live on...
those early tours. It's on Kiss Alive.
Yeah.
It's on this tour. But guess what? After that, it's
completely dropped.
It's gone.
So
with Destroyer and Love Gun, those two albums changed the set list.
Yes.
Changed the set list.
Well, I kind of had to. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Nothing to Lose sounds like an early Kiss song.
It does, yes.
So
and with these new songs that are... Nothing to Lose didn't do anything for the band. It didn't put the band on the map. It was just their first single.
Yes.
So, I mean, with songs from Destroyer, Love Gun, songs that are proven to work, these are chart-topping songs.
This is the new Kiss.
Out with the old,
coming in
with the new.
Yes.
And, I mean, songs like She and Nothing to Lose,
awesome.
You don't see those songs really come back in full swing until the reunion. I think they actually did play Nothing to Lose on the Psycho Circus tour.
Really?
They did, at least at Dodger Stadium.
Strange.
I think it was played on Dodger Stadium.
That'd be cool.
I could be wrong, but songs like She, they played. They played She with the original lineup. So those songs, I mean, yeah, this is a transitional point.
That's very
with this set list. Loved it. I cannot wait to go back and revisit it. Like I said, I noticed Ace's solo is awesome on this album.
I haven't yet heard that because everything's on Spotify. I'm pretty sure everything that's included in the box set is on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I've heard a few other demos that weren't on the vinyl, but I have yet to hear the live recordings.
I know you'll love it, especially She and Ace's solo.
Oh, yeah.
Ace's solo. Yeah. Ace's solos, depending on who you are and what your tastes are, can be either really great or really bad. Yeah. Because to the common person, it might just sound like a lot of freaking random stupid noises.
Yeah.
That is like, oh, that's off-putting and dissonant. But if you're a Kiss fan, I guess, or a guitar fan, or a rock fan,
then you get it.
Ace, I mean, it sounds like something landing from outer space.
Yeah, it was Ace. Ace, he created a soundscape for his persona, and he did his own thing.
So you're seeing Rock and Roll Night as the last song here.
And Detroit Rock City,
that'll be the staple from now on.
Second. I would have assumed they would have opened the show, because now they've opened the Kiss shows with DRC for on many different occasions.
Forever.
For pretty much ever.
Mm-hmm.
But to know that in the early stages, they were still, is this the full show? Because, I guess they would have, because Deuce is also an opener song.
So there's 12 songs, but the 12 songs coupled with an Ace solo, a Gene Simmons bass solo, and a Peter Criss solo, this might have been the full set.
I'm wondering if
this show was played, I think, at like 3 in the afternoon. This show wasn't played at the usual 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock spot. This show happened in broad freaking daylight, like right now.
In Paris.
In freaking broad daylight.
That's unique.
Which is kind of weird. So it does
the photo
seem...
look like it was taken during the day?
Well, it's indoors, so you can't tell.
Oh, okay, it wasn't an outdoor
It's an indoor show. But I'm assuming that...
They played Hotter Than Hell. Wow.
Yeah, they're still opening with Deuce and Strutter.
Deuce and Strutter.
Again, Strutter. You don't hear
This is
Strutter.
one of the best Kiss songs that we never hear live. They did play it on Dubai.
That was the last time, and as far as I'm concerned, before any maybe a few Kiss cruises, you don't hear that song anymore.
And that is one of the best Kiss songs ever.
So so Strutter, even
cool.
Firehouse. Again, this is a very much a Kiss Alive set list.
Yeah.
Before Destroyer really took off, because you mentioned Rock City being the second to last song.
Right.
I think when it came out, that wasn't even a hit when it came out.
No.
When Rock City came out, it was not the big blowout song that it is now. It's one of Kiss's biggest songs now. But
You'd think that Detroit Rock City, Shouted Out Loud, and Flaming Youth, especially Shouted Out Loud and Flaming Youth, both having that youthful attitude that, and the anthemic. I'm surprised that either one of those didn't.
Right. Yeah, and
Shouted Out Loud still made an impact because they're still playing it now, but back in the day, it doesn't seem like it was.
Yeah. Beth was the one that was what was the big hit.
The B-side.
And then only later on did songs like God of Thunder, Shout Out Loud, and all those songs become actual staples. So for me, the best part about this was the demos.
Okay.
And I was wondering how well they would actually pull this off, because whenever they do demos, they usually skimp out. When they did the box set in 01, it was great, and lots of fans loved it, but the biggest complaint was, we need more demos.
Really?
All of those songs, there were lots of songs on the box set that were already released before.
Yeah.
Songs from studio albums,
Just the most popular,
solo albums. most popular. Like, that's not what we want in a box
It's
set.
like an extended greatest hits with demos.
Bingo. Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was like an extended greatest hits with demos sprinkled in.
Right.
And that's not what fans wanted. Fans wanted actual
box
demos.
set of demos.
When they did the Love Gun Deluxe,
Yeah.
they had
They had a couple.
they had a couple, but it wasn't, again, not what you wanted.
It was not.
So with this, I really felt like they got close to what fans are really wanting.
Yes.
With the demos.
And there's a lot.
There is a lot.
There's a lot. I've heard a few from here.
So there are a few that were already previously released, like on the Destroyer box set. Don't You Hesitate, Paul's version of God of Thunder, Bad Bad Lovin', and Mad Dog. Those 4 you can find on the box set from 01.
Yeah.
As far as the original song, the song is called It's the Fire, is listed as unreleased before, but that's a song that I actually have heard on like YouTube for years,
Right.
under the name Smoke.
Oh, yeah.
You can, it's called, or It's Not the Smoke, or Smoke.
Yeah.
That one was on YouTube. It's been on YouTube for forever. I'm sure it had been circulating in fan circles for forever. But getting songs like Love Is Alright, what was the other one? Star, the songs that you have never heard of.
Yeah.
Or maybe, have not been ever released, that was the real
And
treat.
some of the demos are really good.
That was the real treat. Yes, it was.
Some of the demos are like, oh, that sounds pretty good. It's not
I
like...
enjoyed it. It wasn't like, no offense, Reputation.
Yes. That's
On
what
the
I was
Love
gonna
Gun,
say.
where I was like, this is a junk.
I heard it and I was like, this is just... It really is a throwaway Gene song.
This is a filler. This is a filler demo
Yes.
on a box on a deluxe edition.
Right.
I did not want that. This is something that you can actually pop it in and let it play like an album. And that is super cool.
Yeah.
Songs like it's Love Is Alright is written by Paul Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
It's listed as a Paul demo.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Gene sings it.
Oh, interesting.
Love
I'll have to go back.
is alright.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
alright. That's Gene singing.
Sounds like it. I'll have to go back.
But it's written by Paul. That to me was kind of cool
That's
because the band doesn't usually, I don't think, demo together
Oh,
or
look at
just
this.
write together. It seemed like they would write material and bring material that they've written by themselves or with others to the table, and then start, kind of mixing it in with everybody else.
I'll tell you what. I listened to all the demos that are on the vinyl, which is not a lot, and a couple select other ones on Spotify just to kind of get a taste of what else I'm hearing. And the one that jumped out to me the most out of the ones that I heard was Man of a Thousand Faces, as we know, which would later feature on Gene's 78 solo album. But I've always adored that song. And it's
Me
stuff
too.
like this that really just kind of, it shouldn't blow my mind, but in a way it does, to know that it was mostly written in 75, 76.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be released until 1978. But I mean, just kind of imagining what these songs would have sounded like on Destroyer, and trying to get in their head of assembling these songs. What do you leave in? What do you take out? That's got to be a daunting task when you've got so many demos. And 'cause Man of a Thousand Faces is it's a brilliant song, but maybe it doesn't belong on Destroyer and all the other
Well,
albums.
that's a really good point to bring up because I was looking at this going, just for fun, me as a fan going, okay, well, if I were to take something off a Destroyer and put something from here on, what would it be?
Oh, I could answer that.
Go ahead.
Because it just came to my mind. I didn't premeditate this.
Mm-hmm.
Great Expectations for Man of a Thousand Faces.
Okay.
Both similarly sort of soft
Softer material.
and dramatic. So I feel like they almost both deliver a similar thing. But I mean, Man of a Thousand Faces is a way better song, conceptually, musically.
Yeah.
But
I think that, I was doing that in my head, kind of going, what songs will I take off and put on? And I ended up saying neither of them, or none of them, because...
just add more songs.
because all of these songs are songs written, those are Kiss songs that belong on Kiss albums before Kiss Alive. Because with Destroyer, you really see where Bob Ezrin was coming in and,
Writing.
Tuning things up a little bit.
Yes.
You look at the demo for Detroit Rock City.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then listen to the final version.
Oh, completely different.
And you really tell
You can
where...
hear Ezrin's...
You can tell where Ezrin came in and was actually, helping. And
he broke down and rewrote the song.
his goal was to make things more sophisticated.
Yes.
And so with songs like Love Is Alright, which I love because of that down.
That's a good
down.
Yeah.
It's very simplistic, and it reminds me of, say, All the Way from Hotter Than Hell,
Sure.
which is one of my favorite songs, because of that simplicity. It gives it that charm.
Yeah.
But that belongs in that era. You know, this is a new era of new Kiss, and so songs like that don't belong on an album. You mentioned hearing songs like Flaming Youth and Shout Out Loud, which had this youthful attitude. Mm-hmm. You know, those are songs that Kiss probably wouldn't have written before Ezrin's involvement.
Sure.
Just because Kiss seemed to have a very, stream of consciousness, very, surface level writing. You know, you listen to songs like on Dress to Kill, and some of the songs on Hotter Than Hell, and they were just
written in 5 minutes.
They're written in 5 minutes. Yeah. These songs seem to have a little bit more, or at least the ones on Destroyer, the actual album, the final album. They're a little bit more fleshed out, a little more sophisticated.
Absolutely.
And I think that is what Ezrin's involvement was. That's the summary of Ezrin's involvement on this album, was making Kiss seem more sophisticated and bringing them. Okay, you did your few albums, you did your club tours. Now you hit it big with your live album. Yes. What are you going to do now? Right. How do you keep moving forward? How do you keep being better? Right. And that's what Ezrin brought. So some of these songs, Don't You Hesitate, you can hear.
I was gonna say, without Ezrin, we could have had a lot of these demos ended up becoming what may have been Dynasty in '76
before Destroyer,
being produced by Eddie Kramer or maybe Gene and Paul
themselves.
Without Ezrin, this album really would have been unrecognizable, I would imagine.
Yeah, and it would have been a lot different had he not been involved. But it also might have set Kiss back a little bit because
they were already.
Because once you, like I said, once you have your live album, now you have your success, you have your big hit, Rock and Roll All Night, you have to keep moving forward. And had Kiss maybe not had somebody like Ezrin, who was like their, our guys boot camp, had they not had that, they might have just continued doing the songs that they'd already been doing.
Yeah.
And instead of moving forward, they would have started going backwards.
Well, I think that is what would have happened, because they went right back into it. In an excellent way with Rock and Roll Over. They went right back to what they were doing. It's as if they forgot all about, because from what I hear with interviews with different people, Gene and Paul were, and management were really concerned about Destroyer upon its release and saying, "Oh no, what have we done?"
Right.
And I think they may have gotten scared because they went right back into the studio. They had released an album in the same year. Yeah. It's like they went right back, and it's as if they just said, "Okay, we're forgetting all about Ezrin. We got Kramer, who's a rock and roll producer, which so is Ezrin."
Yeah.
But getting Kramer and getting back to the roots is because Rock and Roll Over is straightforward, bare bones rock album.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Sophisticated. Yeah, it was like meeting in the middle. Like Destroyer is up here, and then they have the early material, and then Rock and Roll Over was like finding that perfect balance.
Yes.
And Love Gun.
Yes.
And Love Gun. Also, you see with these demos, you can see just how the band writes and where they get to, because you talked about how songs end up on this album, or songs are written, and then you see where they start and where they end up at.
Yeah.
And you looked at the fact that Rock and Roll Over was released several months after this.
Yeah.
And on the demos here, you have songs like Bad Bad Lovin', which would become Calling Dr. Love. And then you have
which one is
I Don't Want No Romance,
Oh, yeah.
which ends up becoming, or has a little bit of similar vibes to like Ladies' Room or something off Rock and Roll Over.
And then Rock and Roll's Royce ended up becoming
Love 'Em, Leave 'Em. Perfect, yeah. so Rock and Roll Over was already being written.
Yes.
During Destroyer. And that is super cool because
it's like Rock and Roll Over is like the leftovers of Destroyer, but to me is a more enjoyable listen.
yeah.
Maybe Eddie Kramer had a lot to do with that.
And and earlier Kiss songs too were also. They were playing Rock and Rock and Roll during the tour for the first album, even though it wasn't on until the second album. And so it makes sense that you would have songs like Bad Bad Lovin' and Rock and Roll's Royce that end up becoming other songs on future albums, and even Man of a Thousand Faces. Which, when Gene's going, oh, okay, in a solo album, what do I do? You always go back and look at old material. Of course, Gene's the master of recycling material, but it really is cool to have these demos and see where those songs end up. Even Burn Up With Fever, that one's on Gene's solo album too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's True Confessions.
Yes.
Yeah, so right there, there's...
Wow, Gene.
With these demos, you have half of Rock and Roll Over and half of solo album.
He hardly came up with anything new at all, considering the Disney cover, and he did his own version of what was the Kiss
See
song?
You in Your Dreams From Rock and Roll Over.
From Rock and Roll Over.
So
all that material.
So Radioactive.
As far as we know, it's fresh.
Yeah, and then the other one, See You Tonight.
Yeah, that's a great song.
And then what's the other one that's really good? Like Damn Thousand Faces. Mr. Make Believe. Mr. Make Believe. Yeah,
love that song.
Yeah,
Gene has a great song.
So Gene is a master of recycling, but you can
He's been writing them for 4 years.
Yeah. But no, it's super cool to have these demos. This is, for me, the highlight, is being able to pop in the demos, because it's almost like listening to an album.
Well, I'll tell you what I appreciate about including all this stuff on this disc, or, on the extra material, is that not only are they, like, seriously delivering on a high level with the physical, with the book, which, they'll take you a while to go through.
Yep.
High quality photos in there, all the stories, all the little trinkets you get in there with the press kit, just so much stuff. But to know that they actually did deliver on a musical level as well, giving us things that Kiss fans really want, is stuff that we've never heard before, not just a remaster.
Right.
Not just the stuff that we've already heard before, but with the demos. And for me, I'm almost more excited about the live thing.
Okay.
Maybe equally as excited, because I'm still yet to really dive into those.
Mm-hmm.
Those two parts of it, but I'm really this isn't mine, this is yours, but I'm super happy with everything that they pretty much did with this.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of anything wrong with it, especially for $200. Some people get them a little less, but to me, this is worth, more than $200, because I've bought more, or I've bought less for more.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most that, this is Kiss doing it on the level that Kiss deserves, doing it as big as it could be, including all the stuff that they could. I think they really delivered.
I do too. And this is something that when it was first announced, Destroyer 45th, I'm like, okay, how many, they did the double platinum picture disc in 2020.
Yeah.
They've done, all these different, like gold awards and all these different things that just Kiss Online, just merchandise.
They're just,
and it's like, how many times are you going to re-release the same album,
right.
and what else can you do to possibly make it worth my while?
Exactly.
So when they announced it, I was thinking, okay, it's okay if I don't get this. I don't need it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, just hearing it. I was like, I don't need it. Reading into it and going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is what they're doing with it. That's when I realized this is a must-have.
This is different.
This is a must-have.
This really is just different from anything Kiss and Universal has ever done. Anything that Universal has allowed Kiss to do. And this is exactly what Kiss fans have wanted.
Yes, in the most real way.
And, I mean, if I could just, towards the end here, sort of give a reassessment of Destroyer. Because, by the way, I haven't... In 2021 alone, I think I've listened to Destroyer more times this year than I have in any other... than I ever have.
Okay.
Partly because of the discussion regarding the announcement of the box set, recreating that interest within me personally, and hopefully some other people. I guess it really has caused me to reassess the context in which the album is released. Because if you watch earlier podcasts, we've talked plenty about Destroyer and how much, speaking kind of negatively about the album, saying how Rock and Roll Over buries Destroyer musically, and it's kind of overrated. I've said Destroyer is overrated plenty of times. I no longer think Destroyer is an overrated album.
Okay.
I no longer hold to the opinion that Destroyer is an overrated, considering the context, because let's face it, this album is more than just the music. You have to, with an album like Destroyer, you kind of have to take in everything into consideration. The album cover, back in the day, trying to imagine what it would be like, holding that for the first time and looking at it, as well as getting all the stuff in the press kit and just really, as you said earlier, sort of immersing yourself into the world of Kiss. Taking all of that into consideration is kind of what I did with the vinyl. It just kind of gave me a step back and said, this really isn't just another Kiss album that you might throw on to hear in the background, like I might the first few records or Rock and Roll Over.
Yeah.
Because that is an album you could just throw on in the background and just kind of let it go, and you don't really pay too much attention to it. So sitting down and actually giving this album the time that I think it deserves to just be listened to,
mm-hmm.
has made the album way more enjoyable for me. And I seriously do enjoy the songs more for whatever reason. I know that sounds dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
No, I'm glad.
Like I can't just pinpoint one thing of why this release did that for me, but it just did. I mean, because I paid more attention. I wanted to hear it in its entirety, fresh. It's newly remastered. I wanted to take it all in, and I did. I thought, you know what, Great Expectations is quite listenable to me.
Okay.
I actually really like Gene's clean vocals, and I think it sounds really cool, and the instrumentation is like awesome on that song. And God of Thunder still is different for me.
I was going to ask how you felt with that.
That's still I don't think my opinions have changed on that song, because it's just difficult to listen to for me.
So for anybody out there, so you yourself don't care for that version, that original version of God of Thunder on the album, because the production and the atmosphere ruins the song.
I think
for
it's
you?
a bit much. It's hard to pinpoint why. It's just when I listen to it, it just doesn't sound that good. I understand why it's cool. I love all the sound effects and stuff, but when it all comes together, it just doesn't sound good to me. All thrown together, and the way that Gene sings, and like there are individual things that I love about it, but listening to the studio version is not satisfying. I'm not like hearing it live is completely different. I love hearing it live because they always play. Every show we've seen him play God of Thunder, and it's not like God of Thunder because it's not the song. It's just something I can't get past on the original recording, and I do appreciate all of the stuff that was done to it, because Ezrin went ham on that. Ezrin said, how can I fuck this up real good? My kids are gonna scream on the record, and that's really cool, because in '76 that created an atmosphere that people
that was
scared the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But we thought, oh my god, this is really eerie. What's that? There's backward. There's all kinds of things in the background, and it is a cool experience. It's just that in 2021. Listening to it, now it's still something that's difficult for me to listen to, but I don't skip it. I mean, I just listen to it and I'm like, as I listen, I always try to find something to appreciate, like what Ezrin told Ace to do as far as his solo. Because there's some really weird slow bends in there that create a cool atmosphere, and how the guitar solo is really subdued behind everything. It's buried underneath and you can barely hear it.
You're smarter than I am. I'm like, it's good.
Well, no, I mean, like his solo is very much buried in the mix.
Which one? Oh, yes, you're right. It is.
It's very subdued in the background. Like, that's a really cool thing. So I always, when I listen to it, I'm trying to. It's just Gene. I think it's mostly Gene's performance. It was a little much.
Well, yeah,
and that's the way they wanted it.
It's more theatrical.
Yeah,
as opposed to when you hear it live, it's an actual song.
Yes, and that's why. So as an experience, it's fine. A lot of cool things about it, but as a whole, I mean, I just really enjoy listening to it. And like I said, this year I've listened to it more than I've ever listened to it, and now I look forward to listening to it. I'm kind of thankful for it, because that was sort of I can't say it was a blemish on their 70s stuff, but in my mind it kind of was. Like, it was an album that I avoided, because that's the last album I listened to from the 70s. I listened to Dynasty over this. Listen to
Dynasty, but I listened to Destroyer.
I didn't mean to make a statement.
No. I'm just hearing
in a way I was.
I'm hearing it like that. It's funny.
But still, so now I absolutely adore this. So I no longer, considering the context, I no longer think that it's overrated. Maybe the music just by itself, but why would you, take away that element of it? Because that is a part of it. A part of it is the album cover. A part of it is the Kiss experience that this box set totally delivered on.
Yeah.
So thank you for this. And I know I've just spoke a lot, but I hope that, the success of this, because I've only heard positive things.
Yeah.
Everyone's raving about this box set. I hope this encourages Universal and Kiss to do more like this. They could release any album from the career.
Yeah.
And if they do it like this, as a box set, I will buy it.
Yeah, let it be known that, Universal, if they do things like this for every album, I mean, it's, Kiss fans will buy it.
Yeah, maybe this was a testing the waters, like, okay, we'll do Destroyer, because we know that'll do well.
I'm not getting my hopes up.
I'm not either.
Because
this might be it.
If this ends up being a once-in-a-lifetime thing, then that's great.
It's fine.
I'm glad they did it. We got some great stuff out of it. But if this is them saying, okay, let's put the biggest one out there, and if it gets the attention we think we want, then maybe there's more in there. Now, I will say this. everythingkiss.com, which you know about everythingkiss.com.
Yep.
I'm sure most Kiss fans do. Everythingkiss.com is an online archive of every piece of Kiss merchandise that's listed and cataloged on their website. They have a great Facebook page and Instagram page.
Nice.
They posted saying that they submitted content for this box set. They were very happy and proud to do so. And they said that they were happy and proud to provide content for the next one. Now, they didn't say what that next one would be. They didn't say whether it was 100% for certain that it would come out. But there is another one that's already been talked about. For what album, we don't know. But if they start doing super deluxes for every album, bring it on. Thank you to everybody out there who sent in scans, photos, ticket stubs.
Yeah, because you did it for not... I don't know if you doing that as for Universal. I feel like you did that for us. Kiss fans who really enjoy seeing cool stuff.
And, of course, huge thank you and huge shout out to T42 Design for putting together yet another fantastic Kiss release.
Same designer
T42
from
Design,
the 2001 box set, I believe.
The box set.
Yes.
Kiss Alive 4.
I forgot about that, yes. And
Kiss Rocks Vegas,
which is superb. The Rocks Vegas.
Our
minds were blown when we got the vinyl for the Kiss Rocks. Or you got the bigger package.
The vinyl hardcover book, the everything.
Awesome artwork.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So huge thank you for all the work that you put into that, because this is an amazing box set. I am so happy. I'm
stoked, and a perfect Kissmas gift for whoever diehard in your family who doesn't already have it.
Yes.
Because for the price, again, $200 sounds like a lot. It is not a lot for what you're getting in that box with 4 discs of content, which is high quality in itself, but all the extras. And just the box itself looks awesome. When I saw photos of it, it looked like I thought it was going to be like a flat matte, sort of like the vinyl, but no, that's like a high quality, shiny
foil looking, reflective print. It's super awesome.
If you had any doubts about it, I hope this alleviates that.
Yeah, it's just those awesome. Are all the songs. I mean, that's how many songs you're getting right there. That's how many songs you're getting.
And whatever's coming next, I can't wait. I'll pre-order. If they're doing another vinyl, because I'm more vinyl oriented. Yeah. And I'll listen to that on Spotify. Although this has almost convinced me to buy a copy of my own on Amazon. Yeah,
I had to go listen to it on Spotify. It's funny. I was so mad about the delay in the release.
Oh yeah.
That I almost forgot that I could just go on Spotify.
Yeah, because
they get the music.
All of it was there on the 19th.
Yeah,
you could just listen to the whole thing.
So if you can't get the full set, I mean, definitely check out the stuff on Spotify, because the demos are there, the live stuff is there.
Buy the CD, just the regular.
Buy the CD. There's all kinds of different. There's vinyl version. There's the CD box set, which may or may not be sold out by now. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
There's the CD sets, the vinyls. I mean, there's all kinds of different versions you can get. It's depending on where you're at, what you're comfortable with getting. If you don't want the glitz and glamour and all that, just get the CD, because the music, honestly, is where it's at. At the end of the day, it's the music.
The new remastered is good.
It's good. It's great.
It's good.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope. Leave us some comments on your thoughts on the Destroyer box set. Did you get one? Which version? What things stood out to you? Was there something that you felt was left out that should have been included?
I'd like to know what that is.
Yeah, I was about to say. And if so, what? Give us your general thoughts. And if you're somebody who was around in '76, tell us what it was like when Destroyer was coming out. For us at this point, it's mostly legend.
Right.
So it kind of gets lost in
translation
and the historical aspect of it. So if you were there and had a first-hand glimpse at this, and let us know what was it like coming off the heels of Alive in '76 with Kiss taking over the world. Let us know, and of course, like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram. We're on Instagram. We have a great Instagram page. Follow us there for all kinds of extra content that's not podcast related. I think on our next episode, we're doing our Kissmas episode. It'll be Kissmas here at Kiss Army Things, so definitely stick around for that. Anything you want to end on? Any notes you want to add?
No, just get the box set, or get the new Destroyer, and support what they're doing. Because if this is stuff that we're interested in, we have to let them know so that they'll keep doing it. And so I was happy to buy, although somewhat frustrated to buy 2 copies, but I'm happy with them.
It's all up to UMG. At the end of the day, UMG owns the catalog. UMG gives the green light. So thank you to everybody at Universal who put this together. Thank you to T42 Design. And thank you all for watching on episode 15 of Kiss Army Things. I am Xander.
And I'm Jed.
This has been Kiss Army Things.